everyone, LJ, and I'm here with a response to Blake's book thread. Blake, master, magical, designer, inventor, proprietor of the Blake sleeves, which I have none. Blake, how do you convince me to switch 5,000 sleeves to Blake sleeves? Shit, I don't know. Send me a PM because I really like them, but I'm so freaking anal that if they don't all match, I'll go nuts. So I can't just start with some. It's my problem. Anyways, Blake's book thread. Blake's book thread. Blake's books. Books. Reading. Let me take you through some. I grabbed a stack. Most of the music related, one not. I didn't want to just pretend that's all I read. I love to read and I wish I found more time to do it. There's just not enough hours in the day. First, books I typically tend to love are like gothic horror books. Interview with the Vampire is a phenomenal book. Absolutely brilliant. One to check out. Obviously well known. But also Drood by Dan Simmons, a fictional account of the last days of Charles Dickens in 17th century Europe. Stephen King, Dean Koontz. I love that kind of stuff. It's great, right? On to the music-related stuff, because that's what this is about. I showed this recently. This was a Christmas gift. Some of these were. Michael Jackson's Thriller. This was Doug Kirkland, the only photographer allowed on set while making the Thriller video. His pictures and his story. Check that out. Is that awesome or what? Recent gift for Christmas as well, Mustaine, heavy metal memoir. I have not even had a chance to read this yet. I know some of the members in the DC, I can think of one, I think it's Zappa. Craig, you have this, right? And you read it, you said it was really cool. But I can't wait to get into that. The Death of Rhythm and Blues. This was very cool. I haven't read this in a long time, but this is the first full-scale history of modern black music from the best black writer writing about black music in America. Jesus Christ. But, so this covers a whole lot of, I think I got this at a thrift store, the birth of rhythm and blues and how it became the music of America, of black America in the 50s and 60s, and how it slowly tapered off into almost meaningless nothingness. It lost a lot of its provenance and its power. And the book kind of tapers off into the early 90s where it really just lost a lot of its cultural significance and importance. I guess the same can be said of all music. Justin Bieber, anyone? Fuck. This is fun, the Rock and Pop quiz book. So I love to do this with the kids, kind of have them quiz me and they're like, Dad, you know all the answers, but I really don't. You know, some of the questions here are pretty cool. It's just all different quizzes. So one, which Funkadelic album was recorded in 1994 but not released until 2007? And shit, see, I don't even know that. Who played bass guitar with the Rolling Stones from 62 till 93? Stuff like that. So the kids have fun with it, kind of bring it upstairs at dinner. There's a million of these out there. It's pretty cool. And this book is killer. I haven't finished reading it yet, but this is Living with the Dead. So 20 years on the bus with Garcia and the Grateful Dead. This is just from, I think it's Rock Scully, part of the Dead's Innermost Circle. Very cool book. I got through maybe the first chapter or so and I had to put it down because it was getting so engrossing and I'm reading something else. So this is one of those that's next on the list. Cool book. Kiss Psycho Circus. This is the trade paperback of the comics all collected into one. This was a gift from my son who is also Daddy's little Kiss fan. It's fantastic. Love it. Recent gift for Christmas, Contents Under Pressure. I know I've showed this. This is Martin Popoff, who's just simply probably the most brilliant rock and metal author walking. It is just amazing. There's a number of amazing books. This covers every album and tour that Rush has done. Their thoughts, and so forth. Cool book. The greatest album covers of all time. Love books like this. And this one is all just about cover art. So it starts with Julie, right in the 50s. 50s jazz. So Ray Charles in person. I'm trying to remember to hold these up, and there's just so much cool stuff in here. It goes up through 90s rock, 80s soul, so there's George Benson. 80s agit rock. Oh man, River, you'd love this. So 80s rock, there's like all sorts of sub-genres and sub-compartments in here. 80s factory, New Order. And, you know, Cool Ranch dressing, I don't think there's anyone that knows all the subgenres better than River. He's got it down pat. Robert Palmer, Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley. So it kind of goes just through and through about, you know, all the different covers and their significance and what they mean. So this was very, very cool book, like 1990s grunge, There's Nevermind. Very, very cool book. So again, it's the greatest album covers of all time. And my daughter bought this for me at a museum in Washington, D.C. Came home with that from that trip. 100 Best Beatles Songs. I got this when Borders was going out of business for like $6, I think. And this is the author's 100 favorite Beatles songs. It talks about, for every song, what is it about? Did you know? Why did it make the top 100? What was the recording process like? What do they like about it? So very, very cool book on Beatles songs. I've read through this probably 1.5 times or so. Now I have my favorites that I just forget about. But it's a great, if you got 5 minutes on your hands, you can grab it and just read about one song. So very cool book. I have a few more. The one that's got my attention right now and I haven't been able to put down is Kiss Behind the Mask. This is very, very cool. This is a book that this author, David Leaf, was commissioned to write in 1979. I think Kiss was on the Dynasty tour. And they took this guy, David Leaf, out of New York and said, you go to the West Coast, spend time with Kiss, write a book, and come back. And he did. And he met with the band, stayed with the band for a few days maybe, and then went off into his little box, wrote the book, and it got put on the shelf. It never got published. And I think it was 20 years later, this guy, Ken Sharp, maybe I have him mixed up, he was talking to the author about it. The author said, I wrote this book. And, you know, this Ken Sharp guy said, go get it, go find it, find your manuscript. And he did, and they read it and released it. So a snapshot in time it was, and there's a lot of Kiss books out there, but, I mean, either, you know, these business geniuses here have either completely reimagined everything, or this guy's completely forgotten everything. So this was a point in time where Kiss was just still at the absolute peak of their success. And this is the document of that. Things were still fresh, they were still excited. And nothing has changed. All they did was clean up the grammar and release the book, and it's really, really good book. Really good book. 2 more. The History of the Apollo Theater Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing. How the Apollo Theater Shaped American Entertainment. If you have even a fleeting interest in R&B or soul, this just takes you right back to like 1940s Harlem and all the way to present, where folks played at the Apollo Theater, what the experience was like, what the crowds were like, who was there, the golden years of the Apollo Theater, and so on. And this was also a gift from my daughter from the museum in Washington, D.C. when she went there. This is a really, really cool book. And the last one, and I just saw Pudsey show this as well. This is the top 100 best-selling albums, track listings, band members, #1 singles, recording data, album history. Yay, LJ can read. So very cool, kind of just takes you like through all different periods, through the 60s, there's Johnny Cash, 60s, dominated of course by the Beatles, into the 70s, so Billy Joel, 80s, Lionel, and it just gives kind of, you know, a little bit of a background, who was involved in making it, who played on it, what were some of the dress fashions of the times, and so forth. This probably took like, Pearl Jam, I don't know, an afternoon to read, thumbing through it. It was pretty cool. There's a lot of books like this, and they're fun to read. Blake, that's my answer to your book thread. I'll wait for your answer on how to re-sleep multiple thousands of LPs on a budget, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. This has been a super cool thread. I've loved seeing everyone else's books, and you know, my list is now like this long, and I think next up, and I'll just say here, in case anyone has a copy, a used copy they want to get rid of, I'm more than happy to buy it from you, or trade, whatever, would be Midnight Riders, the Allman Brothers band story. That looks really, really cool. I think I checked Amazon quick, it's like $20. So if anyone has one they want to trade or sell or whatever, let me know. Shoot me a PM. PM. All right, cool. Thanks everyone for watching. Talk to you soon. Take care. Ciao.